Welcome to the show, folks. This is going to be a special talking about truancy in the coastal band. Now, some of you are tired of the truancy topics on this show, but these are not going to stop until someone decides, you know what, I'm just going to go to school and do what I'm just going to go to school and get the best education I can get. But during the pandemic, this is a problem. And these cases, as of yesterday, we're now almost up to 27,000 cases because no one's taking the precautionary steps. No one is wearing masks. No one is standing 6 feet apart. No one's washing their hands. No one is following the rules of the CDC. And everyone's traveling nowadays for the holidays. Look, I understand you want to travel for the holidays, but that's another topic for another show. And I'm sticking to it. But tonight, however, we're going to look at some reasons why these truancy cases are on the rise. I want to start out by, but what I want to do is start out with the very latest, the number one reason. They don't want to go to school. They faking sick. That's number one. Look, all these videos on YouTube on how people fake sick. Like people saying, "Oh, I'm too sick to go to school," and so on and so forth. I'll go, "Hey, I'm too sick to go to school." And then if you look up how to fake sick online. For school, your parents won't buy it. And I'm not telling you how to do this. I don't want a case to be where he saw an episode like, oh, this guy saw an episode of Game on his YouTube show about how to fake sick. There needs to be laws in a place where you cannot be showing people this. I mean, you're not Bart Simpson. And I understand, like, you don't want to go to school and stuff because of COVID, but it's the law. Unless you're really, really sick, like sick to the bone. I can tell when people are faking sick, fake coughs, like this, and even using stuff like to a heat source, like a lamp. And if the nurse found out about this, you'd be in as much trouble. And even people are like, and let's bring me number two. Leaving school early. Except for early out days. No, I'm not talking about the early out days. I'm talking about like using the old excuses like, oh, can I go to the bathroom? Oh, can I go get a drink? Grab your stuff, and you just head out the door avoiding the cameras. And they have this on Google. And it's on WikiHow too. I mean, they space out the times between skip days. They start small, ask trustworthy questions to cover for you if possible. And then they just go somewhere safe. Like, what is somewhere safe? McDonald's? What really needs to happen here is that if they keep doing this, they're going to start finding out. There are truancy officers out there who will find those students and bring them back to school. And when students are skipping school They're ignoring the number 2 reason why they're there, and that's to learn. If you're sick, your school nurse has to call your parents and let them know, hey, your child is sick, I'm sending him home. And during that, the school can call your parents. It says if they automatically call you when you don't show up, you'll need to find a way to make sure your parents don't get the call. If your school does not call when you're absent, you won't have to worry about your parents hearing from the school. But your parents have got the school's number, and they will call you. They will call your parents. They will say that your child is absent. And in these video cases with Don Tracy and Jack Doherty, they skipped class. They skipped school. The school called the parents, saying that they're not in school. But they're violating the law. So that's number 2. Number 3, the video games. I mean, there's a brand new these brand new game consoles, the PlayStation 5, the new Fortnite, a new video game is out. They want to skip class to go get it. Buddy, listen, I understand it's a new video game and a new season of Fortnite is out, but you have to wait until after school. There's a time and place for all of that, and that is after school. After school's the best bet for you to do whatever you want. Go play games, hang out with your friends, play some basketball. They do that. That's number 3. Number 4. They want to leave class early to go get lunch. Look, the school system has a routine. You have to, when you go to school, you have to abide by that routine. Period. You have to abide by the schedule. You need to leave early because you're disabled and handicapped. Then it's going to be up to the teacher. But when someone complains that you're leaving early, then that can be a big problem for the teachers. The teacher's allowing you to leave early. That's a big issue. You can be in trouble for leaving class early without permission. And that is a big problem. Don't leave class early unless you are in a wheelchair bound or have a broken leg. Alright, I'm going to look up the other reasons why kids skip school, and when we come back, and there's lots of other reasons that kids skip school, and it's probably going to take a half hour to and these reasons are really good. But a bit later on, we're going to be focusing in on what Judge Benavides is the actual reason why kids are skipping school. But when we come back, we're going to tell you the other actual reasons why the kids skip school and don't even care about school. We'll have all that when we come back. Welcome back. So tonight's show is going to be all about why kids skip school to raise the juvenile delinquencies and raise the truancy rates. We're going to turn now to Washington, D.C. from an article from WAMU.org. And they have good reasons. Major portion of this. Of D.C. public and charter school students, 26% are considered chronically absent. They miss more than 10 days of school in a single year, according to data from 2015-2016. D.C. Mayor Muriel Browser's office is trying to put a spotlight on this issue with every day that counts. The Deputy Mayor of Education, Jennifer Neal, said in a statement that every day counts, that we know that truancy and absenteeism are often symptoms of many of the challenges our students' families face. Every day counts. We'll continue our work in identifying and empowering students, and families to overcome these challenges. The government agencies, schools, and community partners will provide the support resources students and families need to go to school every day. These are the reasons. One is school safety. A 2016 DCPS takeover survey found 63% of students felt safe outside the school. When you go to school, you expect to be safe, and yet many people are afraid to go to school because of the bullying. Listen, if you have a problem with the bullying, go to the principal. You can't solve problems by running away. Number 2, teachers aren't engaged. That same takeover survey found that 71% of students felt their teachers make learning fun. This sophomore from a high school says one of her teachers gives students the answers to the test. That's not engaging, that's cheating. That teacher should have been fired. Number 3, access to transportation. Even though students in the district can ride public transportation for free, some said the communities that are alone in public transit isn't always reliable. And Hardy says if you miss the bus, just don't even go. Students can't see the immediate benefit. Students in a group said there are a lot of peers who are focused on making money in the short term. Some need to support their families and others who make money instead of going to school. Yeah, we'll get to that in just a minute. Well, actually, we're going to get to it right now. I'm just getting into it right now. I understand, you want to support your family and all that stuff, but you are minors. You're under 16, you're juveniles. And yet you want to skip school to go support your family. That's the number of cases. You're missing a lot of days of school. You're missing school because you want to work. That's not how it works. You cannot work without a high school diploma. That should be the law in every state. If you want to support your family, you need to do so by listening to your parents. You need to do so by listening to your parents and not getting in trouble. And telling them you love them every day. That's the reason why students skip school. But why do teens miss school? But in this poll, 79% of the word I wasn't feeling well, 40% said obligation with family, number 3, I didn't feel like it, 21%. I didn't do my homework and study for a test, it's number 17. 10% said they didn't have a ride. Jeez. You don't have a ride? Call a friend. They'll help you out. Walk to school. That's the best solution ever. Breaking down the numbers even further gets schools some trends. Middle school students are more likely than high school students to cite issues. Bullying an issue cause miss school. Now these three are going to support racism, and I'm very sorry for saying this. Us white people are likely to cite no writing issue for missing school, for most likely to cite family obligation and social issues, bullying, reasons for missing school. The African Americans are most likely to cite no writing reason for missing school, and Asian students are least likely to cite not feeling well for a reason missing school. Among those, students said they occasionally frequently miss school a few reasons, like frequently people are most likely to cite homework and not ready for a test. Students who occasionally are most likely to cite family obligation reasons for missing school. Students who frequently do this are most likely to cite didn't feel like it. This would top off middle school. This would top off occasionally miss. And those two will just be like frequently miss. But when we're going back to school, intent is being answered. But you gotta understand, you're here to learn. And what we need to do is make sure this doesn't happen again. We have to make sure these kids are in school every day and not going off to Denny's. I mean, closed campus is really a big issue. A little later on, I'm going to tell you, and a bit later on, I'm going to tell you why closed campus are a big deal. I talked about it before, but I'm talking about it again. Coming up, the biggest reason why kids skip school is to support their families by working. Should there be a law about this? I'll explain next. The number 5 reason why kids skip school is to work/support their families. Oh, great. Here we go. I'm sick of dealing with this crap. Look, folks, I understand that you want to support your family and all that stuff. Like I talked to you about this. You don't have to work to support your family. Your parents make the bread. And if you want to support your family, you'll do so by going to school and not skipping class. The only time you'll be able to work, if it's based off like a school program, that's okay. But if it's not a school-based program, then you can't work unless you want to raise the absences. I mean, look, if you want to work while you're in school, just do it after school. Working after school, it's a big issue. It's not that it's I don't think it's. I mean, working after school as long as you don't stay out late. Studies have shown that people who are missing class are falling asleep. And sleeping in class is really a big issue here. I mean, that's another topic for another show. But in the state of Texas, there's over 1,000 truancy judges. And they're all in the same boat. And since the pandemic, many people are deciding to skip school, to skip the assignment taken. I mean, you are required. The state of Texas, the Texas Education Agency, is requiring attendance. Even though it's online, you still have to attend. And all the truancy laws in this state have not changed. Those truancy laws have not changed. And parents, you thinking that's bullshit? It's not. This is the state of Texas talking. child care problems, I mean, you can hire your neighbor to babysit. You can hire a neighbor to go babysit. You can, like, if you're unemployed and you can't find a job, I mean, you want to support your kids, I mean, it's very stressful. But the other issue is technical problems. There's been cases in every state to where parents are accused of truancy. And schools are using CPS as a weapon. That's not right here. You can't charge the parents with neglect. What you should be doing is charging the parents with contributing to the delinquency of minors. That's the best charge you come up with. There's 2 judges that we know here in Oasis County. They do defer cases which like revert like a probation period and ask for virtual counseling to meet the student. There are problems. There are solutions to be found here. When you go to truancy court, they're going to help you. If you're being bullied, they have counselors. They have programs. They can help you out. They're not here to attack you. And they're not there to argue with you. They're going to help you out and find solutions. There's no but here. There's no if. There's no any excuse. By law in every state, your child show up to school unless you have an excused absence. And that the same thing goes for in-person learning. If you're absent for these remote classes, you're literally more absent. And again, the truancy laws and the laws regarding whether you can get credit, the driver's license, all that stuff that applies just like right here. But we don't need to bring parents in the situation here. But the best thing you can do is just take away the driver's license. Let's just take away privileges. Take away driver's license. No TV, no video games, whatever. But what we need to do is make sure our kids are in school every single day of the week. Back in a moment. Coming up on a special Giving Back Friday, a race for the vaccine. What you need to know before you take that vaccine, and also learn about the side effects. Plus, how can you help struggling restaurants in the Coastal Bend? We're going to give you some answers on how you can do that. That's on Friday. And that's Give Me Break for this Thursday. We'll see you again tomorrow for Give Me Break Friday. Have a good night, everyone. And take care of yourself and each other. Good night.